See, when you're catching chickens, you don't want to startle them, all right? I'm just gonna give up. If someone want to hand me a chicken?
Come on, camera shy. So just hold the wings like that.
What's going on, everybody? It's Romel, Bruno here, and today we got a special treat for you.
There you
go. I'm here in Hillsboro, Oregon, at the Marion Acres farm. This is Gracie.
Don't name your chickens.
Don't name your chickens. I have a chicken in my hand. We got John and Jeff.
I'm John.
And I'm Jeff.
Showing us around the farm. We're gonna be seeing where these chickens live, where the eggs come from, the chicken or the egg. We're gonna unpack that today. And we're just gonna take a tour around the farm, all right? I'm very excited. I'm dressed for the occasion. So after we get a tour of this beautiful farm, I'm gonna be taking some beautiful pasture-raised eggs home with me. I don't even know what I'm gonna make yet, but it's gonna be something good, all right? Very excited. You excited? Yeah, he's excited.
All right, Rome, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
We're gonna go into a real chicken farm here. This is what a real chicken should look like.
Woo!
So here we go, Basil and Ivy. This is Rome.
I'm expecting to see a lot of fluttering, a lot of feathers, and chickens, first and foremost.
So we're walking up to our chicken coop now. This is a mobile pasture coop. So this thing gets moved every day to fresh pasture, fresh grass. Also they get fresh food, fresh water, but the grass is the most important thing. This is something you don't see in commercial egg production. So this is very unique.
I think they're cute. I think they remind me of little puppies. You're right, you know? I do get puppy vibes from them. I kind of want to take one home, but let's see how they get acquainted with me. This is a good workout, okay? All right, leave him. He doesn't want to be caught. That one looks crazy. That looks like a little zebra chicken.
So we have 3 different ages. This is how we tell the difference between the age of the chicken. The barred rocks, which are the black and white ones that you see here, they are our oldest chickens on the farm. They're about 3 years old. We have black sex links as well. It's not a rock band. Yeah, it's not a weird site like that on the internet. Those are 2 years old, and then we have Nova Gens, which are 1 year old. They're very prolific egg layers, lay a lot of eggs. Okay. And this is what mobile chicken coops look like. As you can tell, that one back here is eating green grass, and that's what gives us the good nutritional eggs and the orange, bright orange yolks that we get.
Pretty much each different variety of chicken lays a different amount of eggs. You would tell me something about that?
Yes and no. As the chicken gets older, they lay less eggs, but each chicken lays an egg about once every 28 hours. And it depends on a number of things based on the weather, the lighting. A lot of factors can affect that, but on average, it's about every 28 hours, the chicken will lay an egg.
I think I
can hold that. Yeah. You're good at holding chickens now, so there you go.
Nice. Ooh.
Maybe she'll lay an egg for you right in your arms. There you go.
Nice and healthy. Looking sexy. Looking good. All right. Well, I'm excited to see these eggs, see where they living at. It smells like a chicken coop. That's a good thing. And I see a beautiful arrangement of eggs. Chickens chilling.
So these are the egg laying boxes. Every day a chicken will go in there, or multiple chickens will go in there and lay some chicken eggs. As you can tell, each box has got about 5 or 6 eggs in it, and that's because we've had multiple hens go in there just today. So we collected all these yesterday. Eggs haven't been collected yet today, so this is going to give you an example. Yeah, go for it.
Let's grab one.
It might still be warm.
Yeah, it's the freshest egg I've ever held. That's
fresh,
crazy, yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
It's got things you probably want to wash off before you cook it. Here you go. This one's a little cleaner and warm too.
Yeah, that's that.
So that one's probably freshly laid.
All right, so that other egg had a little poop on it, but that's healthy. That's a good thing, right?
Well, it's part of the process. You know, the chickens are gonna do their thing. They have no restraint as far as going to the bathroom.
Attitude-wise, how do you know, like, are there any telltale signs of like when they're about to lay eggs? Do they attitude change? Do they get spicy?
They do. You will see the chicken get really vocal, start squawking. Sometimes they do a little dance and they want to get to a place where they know where they can lay an egg. So like these egg boxes, they've been trained. Yeah, they're just like, I gotta get that thing out of me. So this one here is probably getting ready to lay. She's looking for a place to go. But she's like, hey, that was my box yesterday. How come you're in my box?
So what are the next steps after this? You know where the eggs come from. What happens once you guys get those eggs?
Right, I think you should probably collect some eggs.
Okay.
And then Jeff will help you wash them.
Let's do it.
You can explain some more.
I'm gonna go for the prettiest, the thickest eggs I can find, all right? And I want them to be dirty, dirty Diana. I want to wash them. I just want to really get in there and see what it's like to be an egg washer. Then this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna take them home and I'm gonna eat them. I'm gonna put them in the frying pan, a little butter, you'll see. I'm gonna put them inside me. Literally, we're going to farm the table here. Think about that. Write that down. Drake, holla at me. Now, we're gonna go check out where these babies get washed.
Hey, yo, you gotta get way more than that. That's not enough, because that's only like a dozen. We gotta fill this basket too, and that basket. So let's go. We'll do it together. Yeah, I think now you and Jeff can go clean some eggs today. Look at the difference between a big egg and a small egg.
Look at that. When you find eggs like this, what do you do with them?
Just take them home and eat them.
Take them home and eat them?
You can take it home and eat it. Make a little tiny frittata.
We just got the chicken eggs from the coop. They're still a little bit dirty, and now I think we're gonna start processing them and washing them, right?
Sure, so this machine is our egg washing machine. This saves us a lot of time. The way we used to do it was standing over a sink and hand washing every egg. We feed the eggs on this side. We just slide them in between these two prongs here. This is a conveyor belt kind of contraption, so it moves the eggs through. And there's two brushes in here that are rotating all the time. So water will come out of this tube here. These are the brushes that spin and scrub the egg, and as they scrub the egg twists and turns because it rolls on the conveyor, so it gets all the different sides of the egg. They come out here and are deposited into this little tray here. There's somebody that stands here and will look at them to make sure they're totally clean. If they're not, they get sent through a second time. If they're clean, they get put on these drying racks, and from here then it'll go to packaging and candling. I do want to mention all of our water is collected here, held into these tanks over here, these black tanks, and then we're allowed to apply that water right onto our fields. We pulled the water up from the ground, and then now we get to use it, so we kind of close the nutrient cycle. So hey Rome, every one of these is worth about 30 cents. So every one you break, we're gonna take out of your paycheck.
What about this guy? You think we could clean him up?
Yeah, we'll go old school on him. We'll just clean them by hand, get them all ready for you to take them home.
Oh, that's Chicken Little. That's what that is. All right, so now that these are clean, we're gonna do a process called candling when we package these. What does that exactly mean, candling?
So candling, the word comes from what they used to do, which was literally hold the candle up, put the egg in front of the candle. And what we're looking for essentially are small cracks in the shell of the egg. These are cracks that you can't see with your naked eye, but are there, and candling helps you see them. And then once they're all packaged, labeled, and dated, they get put in our store and sold to customers.
Look at this. This is real life, all right? I really appreciate you having me here.
Our pleasure.
I love you. All right.
All right.
You rattle my cage, I don't wanna fight. You're tripping my wires, I'm the sensitive type. I stick around when I'm left in your dust, 'cause I love you more than I love myself.
All right, so there we go. We got these beautiful eggs from the homies. They showed me around the town, around the farm, and I'm very excited to take these home and make something very scrumptious, umptious out of it. Let's do it. Back home, we're going back home. All right, so I'm back at my place. We just came back from the farm and we got all this beautiful local ingredients. We got some asparagus, some potatoes, some bacon, some eggs, cheese, and we all got this from the farm, all right? I want to give a big shout out to Jeff and John. They homies, we homies for life now. Can't get rid of me. It's a beautiful thing when you're able to just get ingredients so close to you. That was like a 30-minute drive for me. And I'm excited to turn this into something magical. Now you saw me get into it with these guys. I was in a chicken coop, wilding, looking crazy, but I feel like there's so much more history to eggs that we didn't get into. So I say that we should all have a history lesson today. Are you guys up for that? Let's run down a little bit of the history of eggs, all right? Now, eggs have been eaten by humans for thousands and thousands of years. And I mean all kinds of eggs, from fowls to reptiles and some mammals and fishes too. In 2009, it was reported that an estimated 62.1 million metric tons of eggs were produced worldwide. Fun fact, Romans would crush their eggshells on their plate to prevent evil spirits from hiding there. They were bugging. I don't know what they were smoking. Another fun fact too is in the 17th century, the French would scramble their eggs in a lot of highly acidic juices, fruit juices, things like that. And this is probably where lemon curd gets its origins. Lit. Now we know. So when I was at their market that they had on the farm, I started to gather all these ingredients, and the thing that instantly popped into my mind was frittatas. So a basic frittata, literally, all you're gonna need for that is some eggs and some cream, some butter, of course. And all these other ingredients are interchangeable. But one thing that you're gonna need for sure is this right here, the cast iron. Easy, simple. You should have one of these in your place. If you don't, you buy one. Large, 20 bucks, it's really cheap too. So before we start dicing up all these ingredients, I want to show you the spices that are going to go into this frittata, okay? So we got a little bit of cayenne, a little bit of spice, a little nice. Black pepper, cause black pepper. A little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, and of course we got some nice kosher salt. Jar not included. All right, so now that we know what spices are going inside the frittata, we're gonna start cutting up the veggies that we got here. We're gonna wanna chop up this asparagus right here on a bias. And if you guys don't know what cutting on a bias means, it's very simple. That means we're gonna angle the asparagus, a little angle, and just cut it. And that's it. More room. I don't like little bits of asparagus inside my frittata. I like long, big pieces, just texture, variety. And with asparagus, you always wanna stop at this pink part of the stem right here. It's very woody. You can't cook it. You throw it in a pressure cooker or something, but give it make dog food, but don't use this. All these ingredients, of course, are interchangeable. You can use whatever's in season and whatever's local to you. All right, so now we're gonna dice up these potatoes, and you're gonna wanna cut these potatoes evenly, okay, all in uniform pieces, so that way when they're cooking, they all finish at the same time. It's very important. For me personally, I like Yukon Gold potatoes because they're a little bit more creamier, softer on the mouth. You can use any potato you want though. All right, I cut these potatoes very small. You're probably like, what? What's going on? But it's important for me to have potatoes in every single bite of the frittata, okay? Think about that. So cheese, let's talk about it. I'm gonna be using some nice local white cheddar cheese I got at the farm. You saw me buy it, you saw it, you seen that. And I like to use the larger grate here because I want big pieces of creamy, ooey gooey cheese, little cheesy pockets inside the frittata, okay? Bacon, we're gonna cut up some bacon into small pieces, relatively the same vibe as what we got with this potato, because we wanted the bacon to be in every single bite of that frittata. It's very important. Now bacon, what can I say about bacon? This is America. Don't take that sounded weird that I just said that, but we love bacon here. I can make a whole episode about bacon. It's a good idea, right? All right, so we got everything nice and prepped. Got some water boiling right here. First thing we're gonna do is lightly season this water, some salt, and we're gonna add our potatoes to that. And we're just gonna wanna cook this until they give a little bit, nice and not too tender, but somewhat tender. I would say about 6 to 7 minutes, but you just wanna check on that. You don't want it to be too mushy. You still want it to have some integrity to it. I got a little cast iron preheated here, and we're gonna start to render out our bacon. Key thing when you're cooking bacon, you're gonna wanna start low and slow. You don't wanna blast your heat and kill it and crank it, because you're pretty much gonna burn the bacon, and you're not gonna get like an even crispiness on it. So low and slow. So these are almost done. Almost. This is what we're looking for, more or less. Nice and crispy little pieces, okay? And look at all that fat that's rendered out of there. Save this, get a little mason jar. That's what I'm about to do. And save some of that. We're only gonna reserve a little bit of fat. I got a little plate with a paper towel. Turn this heat off. And right after I take this out, I'm gonna check those potatoes. They should be good to go too. A good way to get this going is to preheat the pan before. You can't put it in there cold and start it up that way, but I like to preheat it a little bit. Boom. So look at all that fat. This is very hot, but I'm gonna pour some of it in a small mason jar. And we're gonna keep all that. You can drain it, put a little strainer in there, just strain some of that off. I'm just gonna keep it as is. I like to cook eggs, and I definitely love to cook veggies in this. And the good thing about these cast irons is they have these little pour spouts, because they just know you're gonna pour bacon fat from it. And they help you out there. This is dangerous. This is like lava. I'll pour some of that, I'll pour majority of that out. And you're gonna wanna just keep a little bit of that bacon fat in there, because we're gonna cook that asparagus in there. And we're gonna check these potatoes. Ooh, that's ready. I'll show you right now. You wanna turn off your heat. And we're gonna drain these. And these are hot, hot, hot. Any longer, these would have turned into mashed potatoes. So you wanna keep an eye out for that. Funny story, right? We just moved into this house 2 months fresh. And this thing right here is a very interesting little vent. We don't have a vent here. But look, so you tuck it into that little thing, it stops. You pull it out, it stays on and the light flickers. It's a very old place. But when the lady was showing us this apartment, she was like, yeah, it's beautiful, oh my God. And she was like, check this out. This is like a very cool, hip thing. And I was like, oh, so you just pull it, and the whole thing fell off. And it literally was a week with this thing on the whole time. We ended up fixing it ourselves. No shade to the building owners, but we fixed it. You know, you don't have to come, it's all right, we fixed it. Since I love the audience, I'm gonna show you how soft they are, how fork tender they are. I'm gonna go over here and cook this asparagus. We're gonna be cooking this asparagus just until it gets lightly tender. You don't wanna cook it all the way. You still wanna have texture and bite throughout this frittata. I did season it with a little bit of salt. You wanna go light with the salt. I've just been adding a little bit here and there. I like to season the eggs when I'm mixing it. We got that bacon in there, and that bacon fat carries a little bit of salt too, so just be careful with that. I like to do a little bit less. Salt is the black man's kryptonite. You stay away from that. You gotta stay away from it. Oh, and while we're letting this cook, this is coming together really fast. We're gonna preheat this to 425 degrees and just let that preheat, because once this is nice and tender, we're gonna start adding all the ingredients to the pan and cooking it. He was like, bacon? What's going on? This is Gilligan, all right? We had to have security on the set today. Make sure everything is copacetic. He came here, he smells bacon. He's old, he's 16 years old. So he's very old, he don't got too much teeth, so a potato is perfect for him. All right, now I need you to go. I do need you to go. I need you to go. I need you to go. Watch perimeter, love you. Oh. It'll be fine. All right, so these, like I said, I don't want to cook these too much. So I think this right here is perfect. I'm just gonna set this to the side. And there's little pieces of bacon in there. It's just regular, it's fine. But just something like that, a little bite to it. All right, guys, these are those beautiful pasture-raised chicken eggs that we got yesterday. All right, these are very different than the other eggs that you'll see at the store. You'll see some pasture-raised eggs in there, but this is different than cage-free and organic eggs. And one of the biggest differences there is with cage-free eggs, they're actually not out there roaming, getting those bugs, getting to talk to me and Chelsea, all right? They're in a simulated reality. They're living in the Matrix, all right? So they actually are like in these small spaces, and they get water spritz on them. They think they're in the rain. I don't know if that's actually true, but they do live in these simulated spaces to make them feel like they're outside. With these eggs, they're out there eating those bugs, eating the grass, walking, talking, and these eggs are absolutely packed with omega-3 fatty acids. It's just nutrients, it's good for you. Free chickens make happier eggs. Freedom, that's what we need now, right?
High five.
Oh, I thought she was like, stop. Stop right there. This is free. They're free. Let them be free. Let the chickens be free. I'm sweating like a reverend right now. Let the chickens be free and let their eggs taste good, all right? All right, so the first thing we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna crack the whole dozen of eggs. And I like to whisk that first before I add the cream or any seasonings. I'm gonna whisk that up, make sure it's completely blended. Then we're gonna add that cream. We're gonna blitz that, we're gonna mix that up a little bit. Then we're gonna add our spices, our black pepper, our cayenne, onion powder, and garlic powder. We're gonna mix that all together. What we're gonna do after that is we're gonna take some of the cheese we grated earlier, we're gonna put half of it inside that egg mixture and mix it. And we're gonna reserve the other half for sprinkling it on top of the frittata before we put it into the oven. So now we got everything ready. We're gonna add our bacon to this asparagus. We're gonna mix that around, and this heat is on low heat right now. It's gonna help the egg set once we add that. Let that sit for a little bit. We're gonna add our white potatoes, and then we're gonna move that around, and we're gonna add the rest of our cheese. And I have my oven preheated to 425 degrees, and we're just gonna place that whole thing into the oven for about 15 to 14 minutes. Look at that. Beautiful. Those farm fresh eggs, asparagus, cheese, cream, bacon. Beautiful. We have to, I know it looks so good, but we have to let this cool and settle. But one thing I want to show you, come here and look at this. When you're cooking a frittata, you want it to have a slight jiggle like that. You still want it to be oozy and creamy in the middle, but you don't want it to be shaking crazy on some Beyonce, right? You want it to be nice. We're gonna let this cool for a while, probably like 10 minutes before we cut into it. All that residual heat from the cast iron is gonna continue to cook the frittata, just even it out a little bit. And with that cast iron too, look at that, you got beautiful golden crust. You don't need to go through pastry and being a pastry chef and all that, you just need a good cast iron. And that bacon fat just helped crisp it too. That cheese, that bacon, these eggs are the freshest eggs you could get. I washed these eggs, I washed them, okay? Pass me the Franks and some ketchup, and this is good to go. This is the most connected I've been with my food, all right? You guys got to see beginning to end. I became one with the chickens, okay? Now, this is what I'm gonna need you to do. If you wanna see more bomb recipes like this, I'm gonna need you to like and subscribe to Delish on YouTube, all right? Make this at home, comment, let me know how it turned out for you guys, what ingredients, what do you like to put in your frittata? No frittata quiche, scrambled, omelet, let's just have a discussion about eggs, all right? I love you guys so much. Let me get into this.
Oh, yeah.